All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing digital painting, and we're going to be using Pixlr Editor. It's a lot like Photoshop. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles that I like Photoshop has, but it is free, it is inexpensive, and it is on the web, and it's a wonderful utility there for you. So, first thing is, yours will be linked into your Google. Remember, you got to log into your computer that you're using, and it'll be hooked up to your Google Drive. For some reason, mine does not. So we're going to go right to open image from computer. Now that I open up images, we're just going to go for all photos. Okay. And I am just going to pick a photo out of the few photos that I have already on my computer. Okay. Let's pick this one where I'm a little bit thinner because I look a little better in this one. All right. Now, you are going to start making clipping paths. You're going to start using layers. Every artist used layers. You're going to start using layers on here. Here you have your tools. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of history. I'm not going to be worried about history. I'm going to come to here where this little arrow is, and I am going to elongate this because that is where all my layers are going to live. This is where you're going to work from. If you accidentally delete your layers or get rid of this thing here, that's fine. That happens. You go to view and you can hit layers again, just like I can hit history, and pow, my history's back. But I don't want my history back. I'm going to get rid of my history. To create a new layer, you simply come down here. If I float above that, it says new layer. So ironically, if I click it, I get a new layer. Now, you notice that this layer is in blue. That is the layer that I'll be working on. Whenever it's in blue, that is the layer that you are currently working on. Make sure you are on the layer that you want to be working on. You do not, I repeat, do not want to manipulate the background. Your background is a map. It is a guide to what you need to do. You manipulate that, you ruin your map, and then you can't get to your destination. So, do not touch the background. I am going to go simply, if I double click here, I can name my layer, and I'm going to name skin tone. Because the main part of this project, ladies and gentlemen, is to get 3 different tones to the image. You want a highlight, a shadow, and a midtone, which is the actual tone of the object. If you look over here, you can see the highlights, these little white specks. Okay, this is a little bit lighter on my forehead here. There's a nice light reflection off my nose. And then you can see here, there's a nice shadow. It looks like a bruise on the side of my face. And there's a shadow over here. And of course, my nostrils are dark. So you want those 3 tones that you're going to do and break it up. So I have here skin for first. So I'm going to come over to my toolbox over here. This is my toolbox where all my tools live. And I want the lasso. Okay? If you can look up here, you can see there's a little lasso. And that's the free lasso tool. Don't do that one. That's just going to annoy you. Come here, and this tool with the zigzag means you can start. You basically click and then pull down and click, and you're going to go around the face so you can get the skin tone, all the skin tone for your face. Okay? That's all I'm doing. I'm going to go around and click. I'm going to get my whole ear here. I know there's some hair there, but we can fix that later. Because the layers are going to go on top of each other. And if they go on top of each other, they will cover up whatever else you want them to cover up. Okay. When we get close, boom. Now I'm going to come down here where my color is. If I double click on that, I have this. Oh, remember the RGB? We talked about RGB. But we're going to go with the HSL format because it's a lot easier. You have the box in the center that shows you the darkness to lightness ratio. And move this little orb around, I can have light, and it shows me different variations. This is the color that I have. This is the color I will have. It'll show me different variations. I want to go with more of that kind of a skin tone. Let's go lighter. Let's see if we can't go a little pinker. There we go. Let's go a little. Let's go there. Again, you can alter these too as well. You can see how they change. I like that skin tone better for the light, and it gives you 3 different variations. So if you already have this color, this is going to be your highlight. This could be your regular color. And this could be your shadow. Already sets it up there for you, so you don't have to do a lot of thinking. Thinking might hurt your head, so we're not going to think a whole lot. Then we're going to go to the paint bucket. Okay, the paint bucket, we can just fill in the space. Pow! Boom! I have my whole face is taken away. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm going to do nothing. You're just breaking up the space. If you want to add a little bit of highlight and so forth, you can use the gradient tool. Yes, it shows you the different gradients here, the different styles of gradients. You can go up here. We can go linear. We can go radial, so forth. It's on linear. So I can do this. I'm going to go to this color here. And I see how it turns to an eyedropper. Boom. I select it. I have my color that I've already used. And then I'm going to click on the black here. And then I'm going to click on the color that I've already used. And I'm going to click on this one. So it's a little bit darker. I'm going to click on this one. All right. So now I have that color. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go right here. I'm going to then click on my face right down here. Oop. And then now you can see how it blends. It goes from dark to light, light to dark. I just click down and I pull, and I can click light to dark. Most of the lightness is up above my head, so I can do that. And now I have basically a background color, and the gradient is there. But for posterity, I'm just going to leave it like that. And that is my skin tone. That's one layer. So now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to create another skin. And I'm going to double click. And I'm going to put shadow. This is where my shadows are going to live. So if I click this little box with the check mark, boom, that means I don't see it anymore. Now you see the little marching ants and so forth around here? That's still on this layer. It's not on that layer. Anything I do is still going to manipulate it on this layer. Even though I'm on, it shows the blue here, all this clipping path is still on this layer. And I don't want that clipping path. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to clear it out. I'm going to grab this little box. I'm going to tap it once. I'm going to go back here. And now I'm going to start doing my shadows. So I'm going to start with the nose, but I want to get a little bit closer look. So I'm going to take this, and boom, I can get close, and I can move this around now. See how I'm doing that? So I can get it nice and tight and get a nice smooth transition if I want to. So I have my nose here, and I'm going to start cutting out my shadow here on the tip of my nose. If you look here, I'm not going all the way across my nose, because it gets a little bit lighter, just like I told you how light goes around objects. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on this, get the shadow. I'm going to want to make it a little bit darker. So now this is that spectrum. I'm going to make it a little bit darker and hit OK. And go to the paint bucket. Boom. I've colored that in. Go back up here. And again, I'm going to click on shadow.